Hey y'all, it's Nancy, the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture. Today I am going to use this beautiful skull stamp that I picked up from Michael's on a recent shopping spree. It is by Inkadinkadoo and I am absolutely in love with it. So we are going to make this Slimline card. It is a trio of rainbow colored skulls. And so first things first, like I love a wood mount stamp. I love red rubber, but I can't stamp that way. So please don't be shocked by what you just saw on the screen. It's okay, and it's a common practice anymore. There was a day when all we had was wood mount stamps, and for those of us who still have a bunch, we found a way to peel them from their wood base and use them in our MISTI. So essentially I stuck it in the microwave for, well, it was less than 10 seconds, and that just softens up that glue so that you can peel it from the wood, and then I actually just stick it right back to it. It's like a temporary adhesive at this point, but you can see it works perfectly in the MISTI. It has enough stick to the door, and alignment, as you can see, is still a bit of an issue, and this was the first time I was using it, so they're all a little wonky. But I was using that scrap piece of paper just to make sure that they were lined up the same and they had that same degree of wonkiness, and it worked perfectly. And then, of course, I have heat embossed, and I zoomed that in close because the magic of heat embossing, even when it's just clear, is amazing. I will never, ever get tired of heat embossing. So, all of that being said, if you have any questions about that process, how to store wood mount stamps, what might happen, all those things, drop me a comment downstairs, because a lot of us still have wood mount stamps and just aren't sure what to do with them and how to display them. So I'd love to have that conversation with y'all downstairs. So now to the coloring. Y'all can see that I am using my much beloved Arteza Everblend Ultras, and I'm just doing a rainbow gradient on each flower. So of course on this one I started with the purple so that I could gradually blend into red. So I start with kind of a violety purple on the left, and I colored down red on the right, and then I found a mid-tone that was kind of a pinky purple red and just blended them together right down the middle. So then on the right I go with orange on the right, and then that red, the same red that I used on the left petal, I use on the right petal, and then I find a mid-tone to blend them together. So the first one I was still really cautious, unsure of what I was doing, so my coloring was a little more slow and precise and almost delicate. But as I went along and I figured out my process, not only did the coloring on each flower speed up and get less precise and much more my style, but across the card it became that way. So of course in the middle I'm doing so I did purple, red, orange, now orange, yellow, green, and on down the rainbow spectrum. So here I am doing the orange, yellow, and then blending out with that mid-tone, and then on the right, yellow, green, and blending out with the mid-tone as well. Now I have to say I've lost some of my footage, so we don't see any of the coloring on the final skeleton or skull. We don't see any of the beautiful coloring for the flowers and the butterflies or the skulls themselves. Now I left the teeth just white just because I just wanted all that rainbow goodness to be the star of the show. And of course I feel like it is. So here is the finished card. All of that coloring, you can see that there's the kind of the rainbow gradient at the top as well, and it all just marries together. Now I had that fun background and we missed that in terms of the footage that I lost, but here's a quick down and dirty of what I did. So I took this beautiful stencil from a Colorful Life Designs, and y'all know that a Colorful Life Designs just has my heart. This is one of my favorite stencils from them. Mary Kay has so many amazing stencils. How her brain comes up with all that, I just can't even tell you. But check them out. I'll definitely have this link downstairs, and you can check out their Facebook page as well as the store. You won't be disappointed. But I did some simple ink blending, and then I shifted the stencil, and then I did some simple pasting with that's Glitz Glitter Gel from Gina K, and I just laid that down as well. But shifting the stencil is the magic piece on that particular technique, because it just gives you extra dimension and kind of a gradient of the polka dots. So here is my die dilemma. Now you could absolutely use this panel as is without die cutting it. It fits perfectly on the Slimline. It's that perfect size base to go from edge to edge and corner to corner. But I like there to be a little bit of a white frame of the white base around my card panel, and I also love the stitching detail of a die. So whether it's polka dots, whether it's piercing, whether it's an actual stitch, whatever it might be, I love that. So because I didn't want to cut off the tops with the die and I didn't want to cut off the chins with the die, that is why I fussy cut around the chins. And I feel like it's the perfect solution for this particular card. So fussy cut them out, just being really careful going around the chins. But you know, I'm not precious with all that. I just cut, and I cut with confidence, so I'm much less shaky, and I allow my hands and my eyes to I trust my hands and my eyes to do the process, if that makes any sense. So I get it all lined up. I pull those chins out from behind that die because, again, I don't want them cut. I don't want the piercing to go across the chins. So I put them on the top of the die, so then all of that piercing detail is just along the left, the top, and the right. So I think it's beautiful. Now this is my Slimline card base. It is cut at 8.5 by 9, and then I score it at 4 1/4. And then you can see that this is going to fit perfectly. It's actually a little bit long, the card base is, but we fix that in a minute. So here I decided that I wanted just a little pop of color at the bottom because, like I said, I left the teeth white on purpose, but I also felt like I needed something to kind of marry it all together. And so that teal actually in person looked perfect, and I was going to choose that. But then when I put it on that dark green, I felt like that really brought everything together. It just married all the different greens together, and it brought the bottom into alignment with the top. And then I chose this particular paper because it has the larger pattern to kind of balance out those sweet small dots from the grunge dot stencil. So here it is, and then I decide I don't just want it at the bottom, I also want a little bit of a frame at the top. So that's me auditioning things, and of course I've made a mess, so I have to take a second and clean up my mess. And yeah, just wiping it isn't enough because that's wet glue. So bring out my little water sprayer. Guys, if you don't have a mister or some kind of distress sprayer or just any kind of spray bottle in your crafty space, I really encourage that and recommend it. I have used those bottles. I used to think they were ridiculous. Who would want water at their desk? I use it all day, every day. So anyway, I decided that I did like the green at the top. I auditioned everything, and then for that strip at the top, I just adhered it straight down to the panel, and then I was able to line everything up. Now I did have a little bit of excess pattern paper sticking out on the right, so I snipped that off with my scissors before adhering it down. And then this is where I snipped off the right hand side of the card base because there was too much there. So all caught up now, adding down my sentiment. It's hilarious. It's from Simon Says Stamp. It is one of their first packages of sentiments that are, you know, they're the pre-cut or the pre-printed sentiment strips that you just cut out. Now I did try to foil it in some green, but I just couldn't make it work. Like I said before, I have a love-hate relationship with my laminator to do foiling. So anyway, I love it. I think it's hilarious. It says, I love that I can totally be myself around you. Then I added a little bit of glitter gel to the eyes of each of them. There's kind of a gradient, if you will, of gold glitter drops there. And I just think it's a lot of fun. I love that background. I love that the green marries everything together from top and bottom. And yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. I know a lot of you really wanted to see this card put into action, and I have a couple other projects rolling around in my head that I hope to bring to fruition one day soon. So, you know, guys, I just have to say thank you. You guys are amazing. I love you all. I wish that we could have like some kind of a crafty day where we all could just get together and meet in person. But maybe we'll do another Facebook group meeting sometime soon. So if you guys are interested in that, drop me a comment downstairs. We'll see if we can't coordinate that. And if you are new here, I welcome you. I invite you to become a part of my crafty tribe. We have a lot of fun around here. Drop me a comment downstairs. I will meet you down there. And until next time, guys, this is Nancy, the Handy Scandy. Mwah. I'm out.